Hey everybody, it's Emily, the Crazy Worm Lady. I'm here today with the carbon-only bins for an update. I wanted to start in our European Nightcrawler bin today. We have our cocoons that I wanted to check on first and foremost. I wanted to welcome some of my new subscribers. I want to encourage you guys to like my videos, leave me comments below. It helps me to give you guys the content that you want, and I enjoy hearing from everyone. So, once again, I forgot to open this before I turned the camera on. And this had our 11 cocoons in it. And I wanted to see if we could find any more babies today. Well, looky here. Is it just one, or is there another one in here? I just see the one right there. But I know we had a few others in previous weeks, so I just want to see if there's any additional babies anywhere. I don't see any by that banana. Oh, look at that. 2 more, 3 more, 4 more. Looks like our babies are hatching. I think they were down where that feeding was. I believe I put some blended food, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong. So it looks like we have 5 or 6 babies. I would hope we would get about, oh, I don't know, at least 11 or 12. By the time this is all finished. They should have about 1 to 2 cocoon, wisps per cocoon. But good news is there are signs of babies in here, so I'll probably give them another little something to eat. But let's first take a look at the European Nightcrawler carbon only, and then we'll get these guys fed. So, I always forget to mention this in my videos, but look at this, guys. The worms always push up the pieces of plastic. The plastic windows, like if they go through your shredder, they will always surface the following week. It's like the worms eat around it and it somehow works its way up to the top. So all these little pieces of plastic window from junk mail, things like that, will always work their way to the surface. Sorry, I want to grab some of these out of here. All right, so I'll just have to continue pulling these out. I always forget to check in here. But let's see how the European Nightcrawlers are doing. This right-hand side is where we put the egg crate, I believe it was. So I'm curious to see if most of our worms are down here, even though there was no food. This is the only source of food that we gave them. And they're pretty much all throughout it. I mean, I covered it with compost, and it's not completely falling to pieces yet, but it's only been a week, and they are all around it. So this will stay down here, but then there's the other piece. We'll check that too. So they're definitely congregating around where their food source is, even though the food source for them right now is just carbon. So that's really encouraging. The moisture is good. I'm just going to kind of fold these pieces up down here, and we'll cover it back up so it stays nice and moist so they can work through it. not going to feed again this week because they still have so much. But honestly, I think I'm probably going to end up harvesting these castings before long and then maybe starting back up with carbon only. But there's so many beautiful castings in here that I want to put to use. So I think I'll probably do that in the next week or two, because it won't be difficult at all to sift this stuff right on through a sifter and put these guys back to work. But all in all, looking great. You see lots of babies in here too, so it's not just adult worms. They are still reproducing. And I want to take a peek over at the African night crawlers, see how they're doing with their carbon, and then we'll leave it for another week. Okay, so I wanted to feed up these wisps, and curiosity got the best of me, so I ended up pulling all of the wisps that I could find out one by one, and I put them down in this corner. And I wanted to show you there was more than I had originally thought. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still a cocoon that hasn't hatched. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I would still think we'll get a few more because we have a few more cocoons, but more than just 6 or 7. It's about 11, it looks like now, babies. So just dumping everything back in here that I had separated out while I was counting worms. And let me give these guys a little something to eat. Okay, since we have those large pieces of egg crate in there that aren't broken down yet, I'm not going to add bedding, but I did sprinkle some eggshell in here. I'm going to pull everything up to this right-hand side. See some of our worms right there. And I have a banana peel. It's about half of a half peel here. I'm gonna fold this up. It was frozen first because we know freezing helps break down the cell wall and makes it more readily available to the worms and deters any sort of fruit flies from hatching, because there's fruit fly eggs oftentimes in the skins of our fruits. So just gonna kind of mound everything back up over the top over here. Again, preventing smells that might attract flies. And we will take a quick look at the African night crawlers. Okay, so quick look at the African night crawlers. There are a lot of these guys. I think even more than the European night crawlers. These guys are just crazy fast composters. Got some babies as well as some more mature worms. They're looking quite well. They love going down and congregating in the bottom where it's most moist. There's a cocoon right there. Looking fantastic. I think, if I remember correctly, our feeding is down on the other side when we did the shredded paper. I'm sorry, cardboard, shredded cardboard. But this bin continues to impress with how fast these worms reproduce. Look at this little, ooh, baby. That's a little springtail running next to him. But long and short of it here is that it looks great over on this side. So let's take a peek down here where we had put the shredded cardboard. And worms are all throughout here, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Same deal, I think I'm probably going to try to harvest this in a few weeks time here. So I'm not going to feed a lot more aggressively. We'll probably restart it after I harvest some. But the good news is that we see all of our worms are going over to the cardboard area. Well, not all of them. There's a good number. They've made their way over here, and they are most likely utilizing this as a food source. So I'm gonna keep everything back down here on the right-hand side. Let these guys continue to work. We'll let the European night crawlers continue to work. And we'll come back next week for another check-in. So let me know what you think, guys. Drop those comments below. Like this video. Subscribe if you'd like some more content from me. And I'll be back with you guys real soon for an update. Guys, I almost missed it. I was getting ready to close up the bin. This is around the rest of that newspaper that's still decomposing. You don't get African nightcrawler worm balls very often, but these guys are seeming to give us one, and the best part is that it's actually in a bin with no actual food, only the carbon sources. Could not be happier with that.